Welcome everyone to this episode of the Mortgages by Gretchen show, where I talk to real people who are related to the field of real estate or small business and who are experts and generous and willing to share their knowledge and their wisdom with us here today. And the goal of the show is to give you some information and some tips so that you can reach your goals and you know where to go when you have questions and to take some of the guesswork out of it and to help you along in your process. And today I have Keyli Keyli, please say your last name.
Kosiorek.
Kosiorek, thank you, with me. And Keyli is the Senior Policy Analyst for the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, also known as the CFIB.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I was going to mention to you that I'm a CFIB member, and very gratefully. And yeah, please introduce yourself as well and tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at CFIB.
Absolutely. So as Gretchen mentioned, I am a senior policy analyst with the CFIB. I am based in Calgary, Alberta, but my focus is on national issues right now. So a lot to do with the COVID support programs. Most specifically, the rent assistance program is a big focus of mine. Additionally, I work on files such as red tape. That takes up a lot of my time. So my work mainly involves taking the thoughts and opinions of small businesses across Canada and relaying that information to governments, whether at the provincial or federal level.
Okay, so that's a really important role, especially now. Small businesses need all the help they can get through the pandemic. So outside of that, maybe give a little overview of the scope of what the CFIB does and how you benefit small business.
Yeah, certainly. So the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, or CFIB, is a nonprofit, nonpartisan business association, and we represent about 110,000 members all across Canada, including in our territories. So, you know, over the last 50 years, we've been really focused on small business issues, whether that has to do with taxation or hiring or succession planning. Really, it covers a broad scope of things. But throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, we've had to take a completely different route, and we have been the leading voice at the forefront of supporting small businesses and providing their businesses with any resources that they need to get through difficult times, whether that's you know, support programs for funding while they're being forced to close, or whether that's, you know, how do I deal with an employee who possibly contacted COVID. So we offer a variety of things to our members right now.
And that's really key. And maybe we'll just jump a little more into that right now. Like if you're well, both of those areas are important. So one, just talking first about commercial tenants and landlords, what programs are available and what's your role in helping people to understand those programs or utilize those programs?
Yeah, so for tenants and landlords, one of the big programs that I focus on is the rent assistance program. So many business owners will remember the SECRA program. It was a program that was distributed through the CMHC. And that program was a complete disaster. It caused me and our members a ton of headaches. You know, lots of business owners weren't able to access the program because the program was dependent on landlord participation, but a lot of landlords couldn't participate because the program forced them to take a 25% cut on their rental income, and they still had bills to pay. So the program, it was a mess. And I'm really thankful that it's over, and we've made some huge strides in pushing for a much improved program. So the new program is called the Canada Emergency Rent Subsidy, and it's very similar to the wage subsidy program that lots of businesses are familiar with. So how the program works is it's completely independent of landlord participation, which is a huge win for CFIB and our members. But basically, businesses with any level of revenue loss are eligible to apply for the program, and they'd be eligible for a 65% subsidy of their rent. Now that includes, you know, their base rent, any taxes, maintenance, insurance that's included in their lease agreement. So the program really does aim to help businesses who are struggling to cover that fixed cost right now.
Okay, so somebody's interested in that program, but they're finding they're confused. So would they contact CFIB to help them navigate the program, or what is your role with?
Yes. Yeah, so the program is administered through the CRA, and of course, CRA is a scary word for a lot of small business owners, but that's where CFIB is here to help. So we've really broken down the program on our website. So if you go to cfib.ca/rent relief, it's all broken down as simple as possible for business owners to understand, plain language, no CRA jargon. So that's a great place to start. But if you do have questions, business owners have questions, they're welcome to call our business resources helpline, and a business counselor will point them in the right direction, answer any questions they have. And if our business counselors don't know the answers, they give those questions to me, and I bug CRA for the answers. So we really have a good relationship with the CRA to get these answers. So business owners shouldn't be afraid of applying for these programs and getting the help they need.
Okay, so I think too, if I'm understanding correctly, part of the role of CFIB was working on behalf of these businesses to be in, I guess, the government's ear to say, this initial program wasn't working, we need some changes. So that's part of your advocacy. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, a lot of small business call in and say, look, I'm not eligible for CECRA, or look, my landlord won't apply. So we gather all that feedback. We do weekly surveys of our members, and we take that information and we take it to government and we sit down with them. Bureaucrats aren't small business owners, and it's only small business owners that know that, hey, this doesn't work. I pay my rent on the first of the month, so it's really weird that this program runs from the, halfway through one month to halfway through the other month. So that's really where CFIB comes in and says, whoa, this is how a small business owner thinks, and this is how it works. Let's try and tailor the program to small business owners, because they're the ones that are using it, of course.
Yeah, that is so important.
Yeah.
Really, really big important role to have that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything else we should know about that aspect of what you do, the programs or helping tenants, or is there some other stuff?
Yeah, so aside from, our advocacy work on many files, whether it's the wage subsidy or rent or, business cash flow, I mentioned that we do have expert advice through our business resources helpline. Our counselors are available on weekdays to chat with business owners across the country. Last year, our business resources helpline helped 75,000 small business owners. So that's a ton. They were on the phones nonstop. We had to pull in extra help. People were working weekends. We did really everything we could to make sure that we answered all the questions that we could. And we even served about 12,000 non-members during this time. So any business that's been struggling, we are happy to answer questions, even going forward. Our members have access to exclusive weekly webinars. So they're lunchtime webinars where we talk about any updates in the programs or closures or what's happening on the small business front. And we've had guests, including the CRA, CMHC, EDC, to really give an inside look at the program. So that's been really great and helpful for business owners. I know it's been a favorite, I think, offer of ours this year. Of course, our voice to the government. We provide regular updates to business owners through e-news updates on anything that's happening. And then aside from that, we offer savings on business services. So payment processing and banking and accounting services. Those are all savings that we offer through CFIB membership.
Yeah, so if you have a membership, you have set up relationships and discounts then, right, on certain things. Yeah. I know, like insurance and quite a few different things.
Everything, yeah. Phone services. I know we have a payroll software deal that we have. That's not necessarily my area of expertise, but I know if you go to cfib.ca/savings, all that information is there.
Yeah, I think, as we're having the conversation, I'm thinking of all the things I could be using from your organization and from your site that I have not been tapping into. So I'm going to make sure people know about it. And then I personally tap into it for my small business as well, because I'm even thinking right now, like I want to do some things regarding becoming a better leader and things like that. And there's probably things you guys can offer that can help me with that. So I'm definitely going to check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. So good reminder for me. So another question, let's say a business owner, if they've been forced to close, what help do you know that's available for them?
Yeah, so, every province has a different provincial program of some sort, but I won't touch on those. But one thing I do know is there's a top-up rent subsidy for business owners who have been forced to close, and they get an additional 25% rent subsidy. So that brings their total rent subsidy up to 90%, which is really helpful for businesses who are losing out on quite a bit of income as a result of being closed. Curbside pickup and takeout can only do so much. So that top up is really, really important. CFIB has been pushing for that subsidy to go all the way to 100% for businesses who are closed. We haven't got there yet, but we don't go away. So hopefully we get some success on that for our members soon.
That's amazing. That's important. And you also had mentioned before something about if you have a employee, so let's say you have been able to stay open, you have an employee with COVID, what would be how could you help, or what would you suggest for them in that situation?
Absolutely. So every province is different, of course. I'm based in Alberta, and our rules are completely different to how it works in Ontario. So our best advice is really just to call our business resources helpline. And they will, hear your exact situation and give you the advice that you need. And, we have lots of templates and letters. So if you have to lay an employee off temporarily or recall an employee once you're allowed to reopen again, all those resources are available, lots of them on our website. But if you're looking for something specific, just give us a call and we'll be sure to either find it for you, or we'll make something that will help your business and lots of other businesses. Because if one business has a question about something, there's a great chance that quite a few more have the exact same question or concern. So yeah.
That's excellent. And what about, I know there is some tools there or some resources for startups as well.
Yeah, so I'm more on the legislative and advocacy side, but our business resources counselors have all the tools, resources, information for businesses that are looking to start up, looking to train employees, looking to, that A to Z checklist of what you really need to start a business and to make sure that you're in compliance with, any federal rules, but also your provincial rules and what you even need on the municipal level in terms of a business license and whatnot. So our business resources counselors and Helpline is really the best place to go for all that information.
Okay, that's excellent. In terms of businesses advocating for themselves, would you have any suggestions of what would be appropriate for that?
Yeah, so our CFIB members answer weekly or monthly surveys to tell us exactly what they're concerned about. But advocating for themselves or any non-members, I think a great thing is to write letters, whether it's to your MP or your MLA. That's really important. You can, if you're a CFIB member, always CC us on those letters. We love to see them and we love to echo them. So that's a great start. But also really being in touch with the other businesses in your community, whether you're in a small strip mall and you guys all band together to write a letter to your town council about a concern that you're having. That's a great way to start, a great place to start, but also getting on social media and talking about your concerns. And I know there's been lots of Facebook business groups being started up to where businesses can really help support and encourage each other through these hard times. And, these are really uncharted territories. So, when I say I don't know an answer to something and I call CRA and they say, well, we never even thought about that. Well, of course, a business owner is not going to know. So if we can really all band together and try and information share as much as possible and really encourage and support each other, I think that's a great thing for businesses to be doing right now.
Yeah, that's a great reminder that a lot of the different groups that are out there that you can reconnect with. I know for myself, get kind of busy with things and you lose touch with people, but to reconnect with the local business people or other people that to support each other is definitely really helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if we're strong, we're all strong. That if one of us is strong, that's great. But you're not an island. We all depend on each other. So. Yeah.
And sometimes you get so focused on running your business, and it's a ton of work to run a business, and it's hard to see the big picture sometimes. So those communities are really important, but that's also why CFIB is here to really, we got your back so that you can focus on, what you do best, running your business. So that's why CFIB is here and doing what we're doing.
That's amazing. Excellent. So what is the fee structure like, or how do people get started or find out more about how to join?
Yeah, so right now we are offering a trial membership, realizing that there's lots of businesses who are struggling to pay their bills right now, but need help. So we do have a trial membership offer, and I have a link. I think it's just cfib.ca/join, and businesses can find out all the information on how to sign up, whether it's for a regular membership or a trial membership. Our membership fees do vary by size of business, so you can put in there's a little estimation calculator there for you. And once you type in your information, whether it's for the trial or to join up, we will have someone reach out directly to you, whether it's over the phone or based on restrictions in your province. We'll have someone come out directly to your business and chat about, what you're struggling with, what's going well, what you'd like to see more of, and really introduce you to CFIB that way. So all that information is on our website.
Yeah, I know that for myself personally, I do get an annual visit from our local membership person. She's amazing, and she just makes sure I know what's available, and I'm taking advantage of some of the services. So they do have a lot of great support and non-COVID times in person as well.
Yeah, our district managers are great, and they're a great connection. So, our business resources helpline, there was times where it was really, really busy. And those district managers, they didn't have the opportunity to be able to go to businesses because, the restrictions in place. They were answering questions and connecting with our legislative team to be able to get answers to business owners as soon as possible. So they really do play a super important role in connecting my legislative team and the business resources counselors with members. So super important role that they play.
That's amazing. So what would be your last piece of advice for Canadians right now?
Yeah, so of course, small businesses are struggling right now. Now more than ever, they really need the support of Canadians. So whether it's your next cup of coffee or, a birthday gift, or Valentine's Day is coming up in another month here. Really try and think small business in everything that you do, and really try and support local. We have to remember that local businesses are the ones that support our communities when times are good. Whether it's sponsoring a sports team or providing a raffle item for a community charity. So really right now we should all be thinking small business every day.
That's a great reminder. I hadn't really even thought that big of a scope, so I really appreciate that's really good. A good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, your information has been so helpful, and I really hope that people, get a chance to see this and they check out CFIB. And thanks for being such a good advocate and supporter for all of us small businesses. It's really appreciated.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Bye.